for someone that labels themselves as a foodie, I've often noticed this. Have you noticed that these alleged foodies are always rail thin? You know, unlike me, of course, who enjoys his food, as many people can tell, how on earth are these people foodies? Do they just make food and then stare at it, take pictures and put them on Instagram? Because that seemingly seems to be the case with our latest cooking canon, no less than Meghan Markle, the former royal known as the Duchess of Sussex. I find it incredible that a woman that slim, that skinny, apparently is a foodie. What does she do? Just sniff the apron, pass it round? It's incredible to think. But apparently this brand new look is all down to you. That's right, you and me. As ever, let me explain. Morning, lovely to see you. Thank you so much as ever for your time today. Are you all right? We'll have a wave. By the way, thank you for all of your support regarding the recent video about Park Lane and the tent city that's put up. You know, obviously, you know, people like you and me, we don't really afford Park Lane. But when I go past on the bus, which is when I saw it, I thought, goodness, if I was paying all of that money, you know, 10, 20, 40,000 pounds a night for a luxurious suite, I certainly wouldn't want to be looking onto that. And Westminster Council are doing nothing about it. The Mayor of London couldn't care less, and they wonder why people don't want to visit our historical, wonderful city. It seems the government's just turned a blind eye, but of course, if they were to pitch up a tent in their back garden, suddenly things will be problematic. I do hope the hotels take the Westminster Council to account and make them accountable for what they're actually turning into a major slum, what should of course be one of the most prestigious lanes in London. Back as ever though to your royal story. Now, as I say, this particular image shocked a lot of people at the recent awards for ESPN Pat Tillman Award. There was Meghan, once again, in another gown, looking even thinner than the last time that we saw her. Now, as I say, what I find fascinating with these particular people is they're suddenly, sort of cordon bleu cooks, they know everything about food, and they can't wait to try new recipes. Seemingly, though, try and eating are two separate things. But according to the source, well, basically, Meghan Markle is maximally stressed, and apparently, yes, it's all down to the fact that us, as Prince Harry likes to call us, the media, are sort of making the stress even worse, to the point that she's stressed and losing weight. And apparently, according to that source, Prince Harry seemingly doesn't know what to do. He's tried everything in his power, of course, to make sure that she has regular meals, but you know, whatever, stress is engulfing her. Now, what I would say about this is it's rather opportunistic, isn't it? And I'm not being cruel when I say this, but as I said, you know, you're running a cooking show. And when you look at most cooks, whether it be the Great British Bake Off or, you know, Saturday Kitchen, they all have a little bit of timber. I know quite a few of them, and they would totally agree. That's because they're eating all day, trying things and all that sort of stuff. You don't get that impression from looking at somebody in a super slim white frock, do you? But the reason behind this apparently is, as I say, that we apparently are putting Meghan and indeed Harry under extreme pressure. They have maximum stress to deal with. Some people might suggest all brought on by themselves, ostracising their family, not seeing her father on his 80th birthday, and of course the ongoing court cases that have been instigated by the former royal himself. But whichever way you look at it, apparently Meghan is maximally stressed, and it's down to you and I, because we're putting her under so much scrutiny, and she can't seemingly think straight because wherever she turns, there's a negative response. Now, one might suggest you could really sort of sort this out quite simply. Perhaps contact your father, stop being so spiteful in interviews about your father-in-laws and the rest of the senior royals, and more importantly, have a meal. It wouldn't be that difficult. Or is there something else Meghan's not prepared to reveal? As ever, I'd love to know what you think to this particular story in the comments below. Some people are suggesting that when she was in the British monarchy, she looked perfectly healthy. Now, some people have been rather cruel in suggesting she almost looks like a modern-day olive oil. What do you think? Neil Sean in the very heart of London.